Good morning, everybody. I have to make this video. Saw the article in USA Today. So this is all about the sweet and sour sniffles, COVID-19. Ah, USA Today put out an article. Remember the Sturgis motorcycle run? And how the media said, oh my God, it's going to be a petri dish for the disease, and hundreds and thousands of people are going to die, and blah, blah, blah. Well, the first numbers are in, okay? Sturgis, a town of, I don't know if it's a few hundred or a couple of thousand. It's a small town. 460,000 bikers show up. No masks, no social distancing, bars open, you could drink inside, restaurants open, you could eat inside, concerts, people packed in front of the stages for concerts. I mean, the bodies must be piling up. One death so far linked to Sturgis. A Minnesota man in his 60s with underlying conditions, of course. His death was linked. They even say it, linked to COVID-19. Not it being clever because we're onto them. You know that mother whose son was killed in a motorcycle crash, but he had COVID-19 in him and they put him down as a COVID-19 death? Or when that woman on stage from the health department said, if you were in hospice and the doctor said you only had weeks to live, and then you died and you had COVID-19 and your death was a COVID-19 death. One linked death, 300 linked cases. So now you got to say to yourself, that makes absolutely no sense. You have to know the difference between correlation and causation. I got to give you an example. Causation. Let's assume this is not factual, so nobody freak out. Let's assume there's a certain beach in southern New Jersey, and every year from the 7th or 8th of May to the 21st or 25th of May, sharks come in every year like clockwork to feed off of who the hell knows what. And you go into the water swimming on May 15th and you get killed by a shark. The causation is you knowingly went in shark infested waters. So how do you solve that problem? Well, if it's a causation problem, you solve it by closing the beach. The whole month of May, beach closed. Nobody will die. What is a correlation? A correlation, using that same particular type of situation, deaths by shark attacks seemingly go up when ice cream sales go up. So trying to solve a problem, now I know, majority understand. Well, yeah, the hotter it gets, the more you sell ice cream, the hotter it gets, the more you go to the beach. But they're not linked. So to say you're going to solve a correlation problem would be like saying, let's just stop manufacturing ice cream. Sharks won't eat people then. You get my point? Because a lot of this stuff is going to be correlation. Not all correlation is just correlation. Some correlation is also part of causation. So now, 460,000 bikers, 300 cases of COVID-19, one linked death. So then you got to say to yourself, well, do the lockdowns work? I made a video 2 months ago about COVID-19, and New York was at its peak of dying. And coincidentally, the states with the highest per capita death rates were also the states that had the more strict lockdown rules. Not only that, But the vast majority of the COVID deaths were people who were stay at home. They weren't the people that are the essential workers that were out. Now, did essential workers get it and die? Yes. Nobody's saying they didn't. I said the majority of the people that died were stay locked down or whatever. Now, the 5 governors that killed the nursing home patients by putting that's a whole that adds to it. So then if you're saying the states with the strictest lockdown rules had the most deaths, wouldn't that be the same for countries? Well, let's see. What country had the strictest lockdown rules? Believe it or not, where are you? Peru. Peru's first case of COVID-19 was March 6th. First case. March 15th, the government locked down, closing their borders, restricting domestic travel, closing all non-essential businesses. Everybody had to stay home except for the essential workers, police, medical, food industries, supermarkets, stuff like that. So they must have a per capita death rate that's so low, not even worth mentioning. Where's Peru's numbers? Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. Peru, per million, 932.75 deaths per million. Now you're going to say, well, that number seems high. It is high. It's very high. Let's take a country like Sweden. Sweden took a chance. Sweden said, I'm going to leave it to the people to decide how they do it. Wash your hands. They said what you had to do. But they didn't lock down. They didn't close their schools. Elementary school and high school were open the whole time. This whole time. What are their deaths? I mean, if Peru's is 900, theirs must be 9,000 per million. 573. Half. Half the deaths, no lockdown. Again, this is correlation. At least I don't, or I haven't seen any factual evidence of the causation of why this is. I know how the immune system works. I know that you need to be in contact with bad bacteria, bad viruses, so that your body can build its immune system. You could take the healthiest person in the world, put him in a bubble, treat him like a bubble boy for 5 years, feed him whatever, he lives a normal life, but he's in the bubble, sterile. He comes out, he's going to drop dead. As healthy as he is, he's probably going to drop dead within a few days from something ridiculous that you and I just deal with constantly. So what are the United States numbers? Sweden, the United States just hopped in front of Sweden with 576 deaths per million. So we did a big lockdown and then slowly reopened. We have 576 per million. Sweden did no lockdown, no nothing. 573 per million. Peru did the strictest lockdown and they have doubled the deaths. So could it be? Is it possible that locking down is what's causing the deaths? We know the majority of the U.S. deaths were either nursing home and people who were locked down. So maybe locking down is the worst thing you could do. People are going to die from this. Nobody is saying no. Same way people die from the flu. People are going to die from it. But maybe locking yourself away is not the greatest solution. Is that possible? Knowing the information that we know. All right, 10 minutes. Well, I gave it a shot. Bye.